Okay, let's dive right in. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to break down the grassroots reaction to the Kenya Finance Bill 2026. But we're not looking at dry, formal economic reports today. No, we are looking at this straight from the streets of Nairobi, pulling from a really fascinating script that captures the current Gen Z vibe of the city. We're going to explore exactly how everyday citizens are digesting these massive economic policies. So if you've been wondering how macroeconomics trickles down into daily street conversations, well, you are in the exact right place.
Our source material hooks us right from the jump with this quote. Bro, unajua simu inaweza panda bei tena? Which basically translates to, bro, do you know phones might go up in price again? And that perfectly captures the immediate, ground-level anxiety of this whole situation. It really shows how the Finance Bill 2026 is being talked about in Kanairo, the local slang for Nairobi. Because down on the ground, it's not about abstract fiscal deficits. It's about the sudden, very real fear of rising smartphone prices. It instantly frames the conversation around the direct impact on the average person's pocket.
So, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Finance Bill buzz and taxes on daily tech. To really wrap our heads around the anxiety here, we have to look at what's actually being targeted. As our source highlights, the government's plan intends to increase taxes on the digital tools people rely on every single day. We're talking M-Pesa transactions, general digital payments, and the smartphones themselves. And this is absolutely crucial because these aren't luxury items, right? They are the absolute basic touchpoints of the modern daily routine in Kenya. When you tax digital payments and transactions, you are effectively taxing the very rhythm of daily life and commerce for almost everyone.
Now, the major sticking point is the 16% VAT along with higher overall phone taxes. And the reaction to this on the streets is both humorous and pretty telling. In the script we're analyzing, the response to this price hike is actually a joke about reverting back to a kambambe, which is the local term for a basic, old-school, non-smartphone. But while it's said in jest, it brilliantly illustrates a very real fear that these tax hikes could literally price everyday citizens right out of the digital economy, effectively forcing them a step backward in technology.
Moving right along to Section 2, rent and lifestyle costs. Let's see how this builds, because the conversation definitely doesn't stop at digital tech. It bleeds right into basic survival and housing. The source script breaks down a classic economic trickle-down effect when it comes to property taxes. Step 1, landlords face increased taxes under the new bill. But the rhetorical question asked on the streets is, well, guess who ultimately pays at the end of the day? Step 2, the tenant, obviously. As the script points out, rent in Nairobi already hurts, and the citizens are acutely aware that any extra costs levied on property owners is just going to be passed directly down to them.
And it honestly goes beyond just the bare necessities. Even entertainment and leisure aren't spared in this discussion. Our source notes that the betting industry is taking a hit too. The local sentiment captured here is super colorful but incredibly direct. Sareka inataka kukamuayo side pia, which basically translates to the feeling that the government wants to milk that side as well. The overriding takeaway from this street-level perspective is the feeling that the moment you get any money in this country, the government immediately wants its share, no matter where that money is coming from.
Which brings us to Section 3, the demand for accountability. This part brilliantly illustrates the real depth of the grassroots conversation. It actually shifts from surface-level complaints about rising costs to much deeper systemic demands. On the one hand, we have the burden, right? The taxes being collected. But on the other hand, we see the explicit expectations of the citizens, what they call maisha improve, or life improving. The speakers in our source script clearly state that if taxes are increasing, then life must actually improve to match it. They are specifically looking for tangible results here: better hospitals, improved roads, and real solutions for youth unemployment. So they aren't just resisting taxes, they are demanding a visible return on their investment. Finally, we reach Section 4, pressure on Masada. This brings us to the ultimate question drawn directly from the Kanairo Conversations script. Finance Bill 2026. Itasaidia Kenya ama ni pressure to Kawananchi. Translated, this is asking, will this finance bill actually help Kenya, or is it just adding pressure to the citizens? And that is the fundamental tension at the absolute heart of this source material. Is the collected revenue going to build the infrastructure and jobs the youth are so desperately demanding, or is it merely going to make smartphones and rent unaffordable? Take a moment to really think about that balance based on what we've unpacked today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.